kind of pay attention to this information, right? The first thing we're going to talk about is the first secret is that you want to stay committed to your goal. That's one of the most important things to remember. The biggest thing that I'm a big believer in is you want to set the kind of goals that are going to make something of you to achieve them, right? You want to set the kind of goals that are going to make something of you to achieve them, right? When I set my goals, I set goals that if that my mentor told me, said if your goals don't scare you a little bit, they're not big enough, right? So set a goal and then you say, hey, what do I got to do right now to make that happen, and go after it with everything at your disposal, right? The second thing obviously is you can always remember this. You can make up a month's worth of production in a week. Right. But at the same time, guess what? You can make up a week's worth of production in a month. Excuse me, in a day. That was not correct. You can make up a week's worth of production in a day. Okay, hopefully you guys caught that one. That was a blooper right there. But anyways, you can make up a month's worth of production in a week, and you can make up a week's worth of production in a day. So you got to realize that you can do extraordinary things, but the first place that it starts off is in your brain, right? You got to believe it's possible. So I love what Confucius said. He said, when it's obvious, right, that a goal cannot be reached, don't adjust the goal. What you want to do is what, right? Adjust the action steps. So we're going to be talking about what that looks like here today, right? But you've got to have that confidence to say, look, you know what? I'm going to be a director no matter what. Over, under, through, I'm going to make it happen, right? So let's take a look at it, right? I think the majority of people in life, I don't want to say are failures in life, but I think that what they are is they live a quiet, but what Jim Rohn says is a quiet life of desperation, right? Because they view success and failure as parallels. They think that this is what 95% of people look at success like. They think that you either succeed or you fail, that's absolutely not the case at all. The fact is, this is what 5% of the people know, right? That you fail your way to success. You start something and you fail and you learn, hey, okay, let's go again. And then you run, and then guess what, right? You pick yourself up. But my mentor told me, he's like, when you fail, always fail forward, right? You always fail forward. How you fail forward is by learning from it, right? So always remember that every day, when you have a daily goal of what you want to accomplish, and maybe maybe it's to talk to 10 people today, or maybe to talk to 5 people today about the Riman opportunity, or whatever your goal is for the day, realize that some days you're not going to hit your goal, right? You're not going to hit your goal, but then you ask yourself, what could I have done a little bit differently? Well, maybe I could have scheduled more appointments, right? Maybe I could have made a bigger list. Maybe I could have reached out to people a little bit earlier. Maybe I could have double book my schedule, right? That's what I like to do, is like overbook my schedule. So no matter what, even if a couple appointments fall, right? They don't show, I know that I've got a backup plan, right? I'm still going to hit my goal of what I want to accomplish for the day. So just realize you're going to fail your way to success, but you've got to learn from every experience, and instead of blaming a situation or blaming a person, right? Or complaining about a thing, what you have to do is look in the mirror and ask yourself how you can get better, right? That's obviously a no-brainer. So let's talk a little bit about what it looks like, okay? Here's what I want to share with you. Obviously, we all know what it looks like to become a director. Okay, it's 3 separate legs of team leaders and 600,000 in sales points over a 6-month period, with obviously no more than 300,000 coming from one leg. So we know, right? If you're looking at a situation, right, this would be a 6-month period. It rolls, right? So think about right now, if you want to hit by convention, right? You're like, all right, man, I want to hit director by convention, right? So that means we got to wrap it up at the end of July. So you go February, March, April, May, June, July. There's your 6 months right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 right there. Okay. So the biggest thing that you got to realize is the team leaders, that's not that difficult to do. Creating team leaders, it's pretty safe to say that we've mastered how to do that. But it's not about creating so much as making a team leader. It's about developing a team leader. There's a major difference, right? If you develop somebody as a team leader, that means that the development process never ends, right? But if you make somebody a team leader, then they get the destination disease, right? That's when people are like, "Oh, I hit team leader, I've arrived." Where it's like, no, you got to build it the right way. You got to build strong. Team leaders, like when you hit team leader, it's kind of like, all right, you're making progress. It's like a sign that says, hey, keep doing what you're doing, right? I mean, that's literally what it is. It's not like obviously everybody wants to be director, right? So how do you become a director? Let's talk a little bit about what that looks like, okay? Always remember that you go wide for profitability and you drive depth for stability. I'm gonna say it again. You go wide for profitability and you drive depth for stability, okay? The best way to do it is if you've got 10 different legs of people committed to convention, that's when you know that you've got solid group, right? Everybody knows you want to get 10 people in different legs committed to the Vegas convention, right? This is how you build a solid director foundation. Now realize you're going to hit director probably with 4 or 5 legs of team leaders, right? But doesn't mean that you stop at that moment. You want to keep on keeping on. Why? Because you want to have that solid foundation, right? You know, it's kind of like when you hit director, once again, it's like, okay, great job. Let's get those 10 legs done, right? You're not, very rarely does somebody hit director and already have their 10 legs, right, of team leaders. This is how you become a top producer. And somebody goes, well, that seems difficult. You know what? If you think it's difficult, then you're right. That's what you think. That's your reality. But I can tell you right now, it's not easy, but it's doable. Anybody can do it. It's not like you've got to be some special magician to be able to talk to people about the Riman opportunity. Anybody can talk to people. Anybody can make this happen. Anybody, right? And somebody goes, well, I don't, maybe somebody like me can't do it. Well, I'm telling you, if you think that, you got to do it, because guess what's going to happen? When you do it, you're going to be able to impact a lot of people, okay? So first, let's talk about it. How do we do all this? How do you become a director and senior director, national director, and all these things that are available? First thing you got to do is focus in on your new people, right? When somebody brand new gets started, what do we got to do, right? First goal, you know what I mean? If somebody wants to be a manager, manager's basically what? A step in the right direction towards senior manager, right? So let's talk about it. Personally, you and all of your first level planners, you want to combine that volume, right? To be at least 3,000 in sales points. And I was talking to a leader yesterday, and they're like, why is it 3 months? I'm like, exactly. It should be less. It should be less. Like, you got to realize it doesn't take 3 months to do this. It takes one decision, right? Once you decide, it's game over. But you're going to make it happen no matter what. So 3,000 in sales points within 3 consecutive months, including personal volume, what you buy and sell, plus your level 1 recruits, whatever they buy or sell. And you can count up to what? 50%, which is 1,500 from one personal frontline recruit. I think everybody knows that, right? If you're brand new, this is great information for you to know. Senior manager, very simple. You personally, whatever you sell or buy, and then your level 1 planner sells or buys, it creates 6,000 in sales points within 3 consecutive months, right? Including obviously whatever you sell or buy, and then your level 1 recruits what? Sell or buy, and you can count up to what? 3,000 from one recruit, okay? So what do we want to do? We want to understand that we got to get to senior manager right now, okay? If you've got people on your team, we got to get them a senior manager right when? Right when? Now. Like, we got to do this. So how do we do it, right? We get them started the right way. We make sure that we help them get out of the gates fast and get plugged in and help them become successful. So let's talk about, obviously, the secrets to director number 2 is impending events are what drive success. Good God, this is straight money right now. I feel like we're printing gold right now. Printing gold. Think about that. That just sounds crazy. I know we can print money, but this is printing gold. We're doing that, okay? So let's talk about this impending events, okay? So you want to ask yourself, I'm going to go through all the impending events right now, okay? Number 1 is this, right? Who has gotten started 3 months ago? Anybody that got started in January, what happens? January, February, March. So anybody that got started in January, their 3 months is coming to what, right? Their 3rd month is coming up. What happens is everything in January will fall off. Then it'll be February, March, April. So it's a rolling 3 months. And trust me when I tell you this, it does not take 3 months. There's not a senior manager in the organization that'll tell you that they could have done it faster, right? Nobody's going to be up. It's like you can do it as fast as you do it. Now, I'm glad there's a deadline, though. Why? Because any of you that are married know this. If you're a man, you know this. My wife tells me, hey, babe, go clean the garage, and there's no deadline, there's a pretty good chance it's not going to be done. But if she says, clean the garage this weekend, guess what's going to happen? Right? The garage better be clean by Sunday, or guess what I'm sleeping in the garage. Right? You guys know what I'm talking about. So what I'm saying is that deadlines are what drive behavior, right? Deadlines are what drive things. But the problem, I don't want to say problem because it's not a problem. I would say a challenge with Riman is 3 months is too long of a time frame. It doesn't take 3 months to become a senior manager. It takes literally about a week. Once you decide, boom, it's done. I'm going to go talk to as many people as I got to. Whatever I've got to do, I'm going to schedule as many pop-ups as I need to pop up. I'm going to pop till I drop. I'm doing it, right? So Very, very important to understand. Now you want to ask yourself, right? Who got started 3 months ago, right? And how do you find that out? Let me show you how you find that out. Okay. You go to my team. You see that when you go to your back office, there's a little report. This is my team. And then what you do is, guess what? Right? You go to new planner and then you change the date to what? You change the date to what 3 months ago was. Now, what was 3 months ago? What was 3 months ago? Okay. Right? Let's think about it. It was February, March. Nope. January, February, March. Boom. So anybody that got started in January, when's their third month? Now. So you want to look back at who got started in January and find out who's close to what? Manager, senior manager, or has active volume that month. We've got to make sure that we wrap up those qualifications. Okay. Shouldn't have taken that long. But what happens is at the end of the month, everybody's pushing. Everybody's pushing. This is how you create massive momentum. Okay. Everybody's running for manager, senior manager. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Okay. So let's become successful. Okay. Now, once you see who got started, you can click on the ID number. You just double click on the ID number. And then what will happen is this. You click on line of sponsorship. Okay. And then when you click on line of sponsorship, it'll tell you who the upline was. Right. So in this scenario, right, I look at this organization here and I go, okay, Sharon is the upline team leader. Right. And above Sharon is what? Leah Lavoie. Right. The Canadian queen of pop-ups, right? I mean, she's the bunch of pops can't stop. Leah Lavoie does all of the pop-ups. So here's what I do is I will reach out to the upline director and team leader and make sure that we get together with this new person and do what? Get him to senior manager or manager by the end of the month. Very easy to do, right? All you got to do is have a conversation with somebody and tell them that basically we're going to get it done no matter what. Get me in touch with some people. Let's go put these products on these people. Let's go get after it. It's very easy to do, right? So here's what we want to do. Who got started 30 days ago? Always remember, a lot of people get started at the end of the month, right? And the reason why is because everybody's caught up in all this excitement. Everybody's running for senior manager. Everybody's running for team leader. Everybody's running for director. Everybody's running for these impending events. So as a result of that, a lot of people get started at the end of the month. So how do you find out whose 30 days is coming up so you can upgrade their starter set, right? Because you have 30 days to buy as many starter sets as you can, and then you can't buy starter sets anymore. So what do? You go to the category, new planner, and then you go to a month ago, right? Last month was called what? February, right? So February, we look at all the start dates and who got started in February. And then what are we doing, right? Very simple, right? We double click and find the first upline team leader and director and get on a Zoom and upgrade these people. Make sure they understand we got to get more products. Because the more products you have, the more pop-ups you do. The more pop-ups you do, the more money you make. So it's super simple. If you go to battle and you're like, all right, man, we're going to war, right? And it's like, all right, what are we doing? All right, let's just go out there and just hand-to-hand combat. It's like, no, there's no hand-to-hand, right? These people don't have hands. They got, you know what I mean? Poverty and failure and, all these things out there, right? That are trying to get in our way, right? These things that are attacking us, right? Poverty, right? Failure is not really attacking us because that's how we're going to succeed. But the reality is that poverty and all these things that are out there, they're coming after us, right? A life of mediocrity, right? Not be able to do the things in life that you want to do, right? The things that are out there that are coming after us. We don't want to go to battle with those things with our hands. We want to have what? We want to be equipped with our what? Bam. Oh yeah, right. With our good stuff. Okay. This is how we win the war on wrinkles. Okay. How are we going to win the war on wrinkles? You can't win a war without any weapons, right? I know somebody, and God rest his soul, Chuck Norris it passed away. So definitely, right? Chuck Norris could go win a war by himself, single-handedly. You know what I mean? But Chuck Norris passed away. So what I'm saying is what? We need weapons. We need weapons in the war on wrinkles. And we got to make sure everybody's upgrading before the 30 days is done, okay? Now, the next thing is what? Now, if somebody's passed their 30 days, I had somebody call me the other day. It's like, I got a person past their 30 days. Can we still get them a starter set? I'm like, dude, stop. Just buy some products. Like, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? Like, just upgrade. Like, you know how much products I buy every month? Every month. Like, we spend about, on average, $5,000 a month. Right. And if we want our volume to go up, we just buy more products. I just literally was at the store, what is it called? The post office just a minute ago, right? And I was doing what? Sending out packages, right? Because I understand products are what drive my business. But I don't be like, well, I got started 2 years ago and I can't get a starter set, so I'm not going to get any products. That would be foolish, right? That would be like shooting off my foot because I'm mad at my ankle. We're not doing that. Okay. So why does everybody want to get at least 1,000 in SP, right? Why, whenever they get started? Let me explain this to you. If somebody gets started and they don't get 1,000-point SP starter set and they don't have their 10 free customer accounts or 10 accounts, right? They're lifetime customers. I'm going to show you two scenarios. One, if they do, one, if they don't. If they don't, they're going to make 5% whenever they sponsor somebody new into the business. If they do, they're going to get 10% when they sponsor somebody new in the business. So when they get started that first month, you want them making 50% or basically doubling their money on their personal recruits? Would you rather make 5% or 10%? Would you rather make half or double? Like it's a no-brainer. Now in level 2, guess what? Level 2, if they don't get 1,000-point SP set, guess how much they earn? They earn 0. If they get 1,000-point SP and we get their 10 free accounts knocked out, guess what happens? Bam, they're getting 5%. So would you rather get 5% or 15%? We're talking about triple times the payout. It's a no-brainer. That's why everybody gets started with a 1,000-point set. Now, I'm going to give you an example. If you recruit 5 people to do the same thing, you get a 1,000-point set, you recruit 5 people to do the same, and they duplicate. What happens is you're going to earn $77 rebate on that, right? Because you're going to get paid on the BP of this set, right? And that give or take, that's like, it is what it is. I mean, sometimes they're more, sometimes they're less, more times, sometimes I have more products or whatever. But let's just use that as an example. And then 5,000 SP right there, that's going to get you to senior manager, right? Because now you got your 1,000 plus 5 people with 1,000. That's what? Bam, 6,000. Now you made $505 on that. Right, you got 310 through the differential and a unilevel 195. And then when they duplicate that out, bam, right? That's going to get you on your way to team leader, but also it's going to earn you basically almost $2,000, right? 971 through the differential, 971 through the unilevel. Damn, like we're doing it, right? So just realize this window of opportunity right now is available, right? Meaning what? When we get people started, we've got to make sure we help them unlock their unilevel right away, okay? Now, why does everybody get that 1,000-point starter set? Because people are going to do what you do, right? Let me explain to you what I'm saying. These are how many level 1 planners you need to duplicate what you're doing to become a senior manager. Now, somebody gets no kits. So if you're trying to get, say I get started, I get no products. How many people would I need to recruit to get the senior manager to duplicate what I'm doing? Infinity, right? Infinity sucks, right? That does like forever. Like that is not where I want to be. Somebody says, hey, imagine it at a sports practice and your coach says, hey, go start running laps. And you go, how many laps you want me to run, coach? And he says, infinity. We're not doing it. Like, that's too much, okay? That's not a fun sport. So what I'm telling you is what? If somebody gets started with a 300-point set, there's nothing wrong with that. All you got to do is now do what? Sponsor 19 people to be able to do the same. Now, if you get started with a 1,000-point set, you do what? Recruit 5 people to be able to do the same. 1,500-point set. How many would you need to recruit to get to 6,000? 3, right? Because you're going to count your 1,500 and theirs, right? Now, if you get started with 2 1,500-point sets, how many people would you need to recruit to get to 6,000? 1. Now, if you, like I got started with 4 1,500-point kits. Why did I do that? Because I want to be a senior manager, number 1, right away. Number 2 is what? I knew I needed the products. I knew I needed the products. Why do I need the products? Because this is my money maker. Like, this is how I make money. The more products I have, the more money I make. And if I've got like one, imagine you got 1 bottle of cream. That's all you got. You get started and you're like, you know what? I'm going to buy a bottle of cream. How many customers you think you're going to get with this bottle of cream? First off, you better hope, you better hope that you don't live with nobody. You know what I mean? Right? You got a family member that lives with you. What are they going to be doing? They're going to want some of the cream too. Now, when you use it, you got 1 bottle of cream. How much are you using? You're not using much. You're a dabba-do-ya type of person. Dabba-do-ya people don't become successful. You got to lather this stuff on, right? Lather it to get the big results, right? Absolutely. So what I'm saying is if somebody goes to battle and they got 1 bottle of cream, there's a pretty good chance they're not going to want to share that product with many people. And if they do, they're not going to want to put much product on the people. Me, on the other hand, I've got so much product. What do? I just lather it on everybody I can, knocking the wrinkles off people's face in a rapid motion. So I got started with 1,500 sets. Let me show you what happens when you do that, right? So let's explain to you guys. When somebody gets started, okay, they need to get that 1,000-point set to unlock their unilevel plus get their 10 lifetime customers. You always have to mention the 10 lifetime customers, okay, because that's a part of it. So how do you find out? Who do you find out that got started this month? So when I go to my team, I click on what? The blue underlined number that says what? New planners. Now, when you click on that number, what happens? Bam, your report's going to come up. Now, what I do is I'll go over to personal volume. You're going to have personal orders, personal customers, and then what? Personal volume. I'm going to look at that personal volume, and I'm going to look for the people that are what? That are close to their 1,000 points, right? Look for anybody this month that didn't get to at least their 1,000 SP, right? And their upline, and find their upline and connect with them on a Zoom and upgrade them, right? You got to upgrade everybody, right? Join in a group without at least, you're looking for people, if you see a lot of people, this is what I tell you. If you see a lot of people joining an organization and not getting 1,000-point sets, you've got a very big issue on your hands as a leader, right? So what do we want to do, right? We got to connect with that leader right away and explain to them how the comp plan works. Because if they're getting people started with 300-point packs, they don't understand the comp plan, or they do not like making money, right? Either one of the two. Either they understand the comp plan and they're like, you know what, I don't like making money, or they don't understand the comp plan, which not understanding the comp plan is typically what it is, right? So you're looking for people that got started this month that don't have their 1,000 SP. Now let's talk about it, okay? This is so important. What manager, senior manager still needs their 3 active customers, right? And team leader higher that needs to get their 5 active customers for the month. All you do is you go to your top producer report, click on your managers, click on them, and then when you click on them, you click on their ID number, and then up pops their little snapshot, and you can see how many customers they have. You want to find out how many customers they have to make sure they have their what? 3 to 5 actives, okay? And I always start with the top producers. I don't start with the bottom producers, right? You always want to start with the top ones because they are running. They're making it happen. So always manage this stuff. You got to be on top of it. Obviously, success in our business is leadership, not management, but you got to manage your business. You lead people and you manage your business. So you manage your business, you lead people. You don't manage your people. You lead your people. How do you lead? By example, the only way to lead, okay? So let's become successful, okay? Who is running for team leader higher, okay? Why is that important? Because you have once a month rank advancements, right? So anybody got started, let's say that somebody got started in November. So November, December, January, February, March, that's 5 months. Now, why is March such a big month of volume? Why are we doing so great? Because November was incredible. What happens when November is incredible? There's a ton of volume. So when do people have? They have until March to cash in on that volume before that volume disappears. So people that are not team leader yet, everybody's running for team leader this month. We're going to have a record-setting amount of team leaders because November's volume was insane, right? Because we had the Black Friday promos. Things were going crazy on November. So we did a ton of volume. And everybody knows we only have 5 months to cash in on it. So what's everybody doing? Hitting team leader this month, right? So no brainer, right? And the next month, April, you'll have a lot of directors because that'll be the 6th month from that November volume. Jackpot. So let's take a look at it. If they got started in December, right? It doesn't matter when they got started. It's just those months. So November volume is December, January, February, March, April. So somebody that got started, you can now, if we don't cash in on that November volume, then we're going to take December, January, February, March, then April, right? So every month it moves along. You guys know how it works, okay? It's awesome, okay? So let's look at this. Are there any team leaders that need their 10,000 in SP open line monthly maintenance? Okay, so what do? Right? You click on your top producers, go to your team leaders, right? And then you go to scroll down until you get to your people, right? Go like to the page where people are right around 9,000. And what are you doing? Right? See how close they are. And then what do? Explain to them, this is how much money you're going to miss out on if you don't get your 10,000. And if you buy the product, you're going to get 40 to 50% back. It's simple math, right? If I've got to buy $1,000 worth of product to make 10,000, I'm buying $1,000 worth of product. Okay. Now, why? Because I need more product. If somebody's not hitting 10,000 in volume, what does that tell you? They don't have enough product, right? They're going to war with one bottle of cream, right? Or they're being stingy with their products. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm the most non-stingy person with my cream. You understand? I'm putting this stuff everywhere. I'm like looking for a wrinkle. I see people walking around with wrinkle on, man. I feel that's my bad. I feel bad. I'm gonna apologize to them. I want to go up to them and say, "Hey, I feel bad from I want to apologize. I feel bad because you're not looking your absolute very best because I didn't share this product with you. You know, and I got to do this. You know, your wife deserves for you to look better, bro. Don't say that. Some of you are like, I'm writing that down. Okay, I'm going to tell that to somebody. But what I'm saying is this: find out how close somebody is to their 10,000. If somebody's like 1,000 points away, and they're going to earn more money than what they're spending, it would be it's called what we call in business a no-brainer, right? They need to buy the products. Why? Because they need more products. They need to start sharing this stuff with more people, or they wouldn't have to flirt around 10,000. Okay, so let's talk about it. Who still needs to unlock their unilevel? This is big, right? Anybody in your organization that doesn't have their unilevel yet, you got to get everybody getting their unilevel. Okay, everybody's got to be getting their unilevel, no matter what, because how you do anything is what how you do everything. Okay, so basically that's 1,000 personalized P for the month and 10 lifetime customer accounts. Why is this so awesome? Because when you amass an army and you have a huge organization, do you want people to go out and sell products, or do you want them to just sit around? You want people to sell products. So when the Riman in June, they put this unilevel in place. It's an insane amount of payout. Okay, you guys have no idea how much the payout is. I mean, some of you do because you're leaders, but you're talking about for team leaders, it's 22% extra payout, but there's also 85% matching bonus, which is 18.7%. So really, there's over 40% payout on this unilevel. Do not leave money on the table, right? Never leave money on the table. You're just wasting money. Like at that point, you're just like, oh, I have too much money. I'm just not going to get my 1,000 SP. You got to be crazy not to take advantage of that. So here's how we become successful. Go to my team, right? And I type in team leader first. Actually, I type in senior director, then I type in director, then I type in team leader. But when I get to team leaders, right, I make sure all my team leaders in higher do what? Get their 1,000 SP. Why? Because I do not like wasting money. I'm the type of guy if the milk is it has an expiration date tomorrow. Guess what I'm calling? I'm calling it an emergency meeting of the house. Everybody grab a glass. It's time to drink some milk, right? I don't like things going to waste. So go to your team, look and under the personal volume, right? You can do team leaders. If you're, brand new, you can look at your whole organization, whatever. And you look at the personal volume and you find out who needs to get 1,000 SP for the month. Okay. Because you got to realize this is the payout, right? So these numbers right here are what? These are extra monies. Okay. These are extra monies. These are monies that we don't want to waste. Okay. Take all the what? Monies. Okay. That's what we want to do. Take all the monies. Okay. So let's talk about it. Who is close to the top retailer bonus? Right now, this month is 2,000 in personal SP and 20 free accounts, right? Or lifetime accounts. You get the 5% or 4,000 in personal SP, right? That's whatever you sell or buy, but you're going to get the retail 5 or 10% on your retail orders. You understand? 40 free accounts, an extra 10%. You've got to make sure that if you got people close, what do? So I do what? I go to my organization, I look at team leaders, and I look for people, right? I got to find a person that's at 3,113. What am I going to tell them? We got to get your 4,000 done. Let's go, right? We got to inspire them and let them know that we're looking and say, hey, what do I got to do to help you make that happen, right? Do we have any customers we can follow up with? Do we have anybody that we can talk to about, some of the new face cleanser, right? What do we got? Later, we want to do what? We want to sell products, right? We want to do what? Help everybody make a lot of money. What do we want to do? We want to make everybody look sexy and make a lot of money doing it, okay? So understand pay period deadline is 11:59 Pacific on the last day of the month. All the volume everybody wants to get all their upgrades in. There's our starter kit upgrades, new customer orders, new planners. You want to make sure you sneak your planners in before the end of the month. If you're like, no, Tim, I want to have them wait till the first of the month so they have 3 full months. Basically, what you're telling them is that they are no good and they're going to need 3 full months. Like for me, I'm not like, dude, you work with me. And if you don't go senior manager in 3 months, literally, I'm going to jump off of a cliff. You know what I mean? Like there's a 0% chance that I'm working with somebody. You got to literally run away from me. You got to join the witness protection program, or you got to get abducted by aliens, not get senior manager, because I'm trying to get you to team leader in 30 days. Bingo, right? It's like, boom, let's go. So March volume, we got to get everything entered. Get all the applications entered in March. Don't hold any applications to the following month. That literally is like, that's like basically, that's like blowing your foot off. You're blowing your foot off. We talked about shooting it. Now you're just blowing it off, right? You're footless now. We got to make sure we understand you want to grow your business. You don't want to slow down your business. Okay. So April 15th is all the monthly pay gets released. So we want to get all the volume in that we can by March. You want to inject people with confidence. If I tell you, look, you know what? I'm going to get you started right now. We're going to go senior manager in the next 7 to 10 days, right? We're going to blow the doors off the hinges. Let's go. I'm going to make sure no matter what you make it, all you got to do is put me to work. We'll do this thing together. Now is that confidence? Yeah, that's confidence. Now, what if I say to you, hey, look, you know what? I'm going to put your app in. I'm going to hold your app until next month because I don't think you're very good. And you're going to probably need the 3 full months. Like you might as well not even sign them up, right? I mean, it's like you just injected them with fear. So everybody gets all the volume in now, all the apps in now to create momentum. Okay. That's how everybody does it. So understand today is what? Right? Is Wednesday. So we got about 6 days left till 11:59 Pacific. Our last chance to sneak in all customer orders, new planner applications, starter kit upgrades, promotions, and unlock our level for the month of March. Secret what? Let me take a look at my time. Okay, I'm doing good. Secret number 3, create an urgency culture. This is a little bit quicker. Okay, you want to have a culture. What is a culture in an organization? Think about our country as in America. If you're not in America, I'll tell you about it. On October 31st, everybody does what? Right? All these kids dress up as in costumes and they go knock on strangers' doors and ask them for candy. That's insane. That is insane. That's what we do, though. Okay? You understand? If you're from another country that doesn't do that, you're like, this is the best country ever. Number 2 is like, look at like Elf on a Shelf. That thing blew up out of nowhere, right? It was like, who are your guys, right? Who was the big time people? You had Santa Claus. Grinch showed up on the scene. He's pretty big time. Rudolph came on the scene like in the 60s. Now you got Elf on the Shelf. That's like part of Americans' like Christmas culture. So creating a culture is very hard to do, right? It takes time to create. It's easy to maintain. Check out what I just said. It's easy to maintain, but what? Hard to create. Okay. It takes time to create it. So once established, it's very hard to change it. So if you have a culture in your organization that is not good, basically, maybe your uplines, like your grandparents have created a culture organization not good. You want to be a transcendent distributor, right? You want to transcend that behavior. Start a culture now. You don't have to, if the culture in your organization is not good, change it. How do you change it? By starting new legs, right? When you start a new team, it's easy to do. Okay, it's easier to create the right culture with new teams, okay? And what you do will always duplicate, right? We all know how you bring somebody in is how you bring them up. How you bring somebody in is how you bring them up, okay? Everything you do duplicates, okay? So let's talk about how to create an urgency culture. Right now is the 25th. I think everybody would agree with me on that, okay? Now, if you're in Asia and it's the 26th, then you can disagree with me. But where I am in America, it's 25th still. Guess what? If I hit senior manager today or manager today, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31st, how am I getting paid? I'm getting paid as a manager, senior manager. But if I wait till the last day of the month and I hit it on the last day of the month, I'm not going to get paid as a manager, senior manager till what? After I hit it. Okay. It's not retroactive. It's not like you hit on the 31st and you get paid for the entire month. So you want to create an urgency culture, meaning what? There's a major frenzy that happens. Okay. There's a major frenzy that happens. And I put just so you know, the 31st dotted line, it's in the wrong place. Okay. I made this morning and obviously I was preoccupied. I was probably doing something else at the same time. The red dotted line by the 31st should be after the 31st. Okay. But once again, Tim, you made a mistake, which if you've been on my Zooms before, you know that happens a lot. Okay. Literally was talking to Kate Twig today and she's like, oh, you made that flyer? Wow. Are you surprised I didn't spell anything wrong? It's like, that's how I operate. If there's something spelled wrong, Tim Herr made it. Okay. If you ever get any printed material from Riman and you notice something spelled wrong, You know what I mean? You got to be like, okay, Tim must have been helping out with this area. Okay. So, anyways, if you want to get everybody to what? Senior manager today. Don't wait till the end of the month. You understand? The last 72 hours of the month, we do about 40% of all the volume, right? So on the 29th, 30th, and 31st, we're going to do about 40% of the entire organization's volume will happen in those last 3 days because everybody's running for team leader, senior manager, manager. Everybody's running for director. We got a brand new director that just hit last night out in China. So I know that's with James Cohen and his team. Hats off to you guys. But what I'm telling you is when you hit this position, do it now. Hit manager now so you can get paid on that end of the month frenzy. Okay. You don't want to wait till after the fact and get paid. It's like no brainer. So create that urgency. Now let's talk about the team leader culture, right? You want to have a culture to be able to get your 10 legs. You want to get your 10 legs committed to the Vegas convention, right? This is how you build a solid team leader foundation. How many team leader legs does the company require for you to be a team leader? 3, never make your minimums or maximums. Hello. Are you trying to get a pin or are you trying to get a paycheck, right? This is how you build a solid foundation, right? Is get 10 people started right away and get them registered for the convention. And then what'll happen is they're going to hit senior manager by convention. Now you got 10 legs. You're crushing it. You're crushing it. You're going to be a team leader. Boom, like that. So what we want to realize is this. Start from the beginning. Some of my early distributors saw me as a hit team leader, okay? People like Julian Doan saw me hit team leader, right? There was a handful of people that got started before I was a team leader. Then I hit team leader. There's a handful of the distributors. A lot of the distributors saw me go from, you know what I mean? But we went from team leader to director to senior director to national director. They saw the whole thing happen. So whenever people see you rank advance to national director, it's going to, what happens to your team? They get confidence, right? So you want to have your 10 legs running now so they can watch you rank up. So now they have confidence. Now, once you hit national director, you start building lines. They never saw you go through it. They never saw you go through the funhouse. So you want to make sure right now what? Get your legs started so when you run through the funhouse, everybody can see you having fun. That's what I call it. If you haven't hit the top rank yet, you're still in the funhouse, right? You get to run through the ranks. You know, once you go through all the ranks, then you're over here like I am begging Danny to open up some more ranks for me to do something, right? So it's just have fun. But you're right now in the funhouse, right? You're in the funhouse. Run through the ranks. It's so much fun. It's like the funnest thing in the world to do. Okay, because when you get a rank advance, like woo, level up, and then you do it again, level up, and you just keep on leveling up. And more people you help, more that you win. Last thing is this, not the last thing, but one of the next thing. The next thing is this: how you start will duplicate. This is the secret to director. How you start will duplicate. Okay, what does that mean? When I got started, like I said earlier, if you get started with a 300-point set, you get 19 people started, that'll get you 6,000, right? Or you get started with a 1,000-point set, get 5 people, you're going to get that'll get you 6,000. You get started with 1,500-point set, you recruit 3 people, boom, that's going to be, they do the same thing. People will do what you do, not what you say. You understand the power of you doing it, leading by example? That's why when I got started, whenever Danny explained to me how the 6,000 SP worked, I said to myself, this is a no-brainer. I'm doing that for sure because I'm a big fan of making money and I understand it takes a lot to make a lot. This business, it doesn't. Like I was, Chris and I were raising capital to start our own business. We had like $7 million that was going to be invested to start our own company. $7 million is a lot of money. 6,000 is not a lot of money. Or if you're in Canada, whatever it is, 10,000 Canadian dollars or pesos, 10 million pesos. I don't know I don't know all that currency exchange. All I know is what it is. So here's what I'm telling you. If you get started with a 6,000 SP, if you go from 0 to 3,000, you're going to get $232. Then you go from 3,000 to 6,000, you're going to get $464. Now, right now, if you do it in one transaction, you're going to get 20% rebate on all of it. So you're not going to get that initial 10%. It's going to be 20% on all of it if it's one transaction. You got to understand this. I mean, you have to explain this to people because some people are business minded, right? Some people are employee minded. They're like, I just want to get a bottle of cream, right? And that's it. Like, like whatever. You're not trying to convince somebody against their will, but you just know that they should just be a customer, right? If somebody's not getting started with 1,000 points that are higher, they probably should be a customer, right? Because it's going to take a long time for them to win big because they're not going to have a lot of products, right? More products means more money. Why? Because that means more pop-ups we can do. So if you do it in one transaction, now starting next month in April, if people do it in what? By 11:59, they can buy the 6,000 in 2 or 3 transactions or whatever. That starts in April. But this month, it's still on the old system. So we want to make sure that we do it the right way, okay? If anybody does this, okay, on your team, okay? Now, if you hit senior manager one transaction and leap past manager, you get manager pay. So you're going to get 20% manager pay on that 6,000, okay? So for an example, right, four premium sets equals 6,000, right? Boom, right? But Don't ever think about doing this unless you know you're going to work the business, right? You get these starter sets, you start popping till you drop. You start pop till you drop, pop till you drop, pop till you drop, pop till you drop, right? We want to sell all that product within weeks. Imagine if you sold 6,000 a week. My first weekend, we were gone with our 6,000 points. Because when I got people started, they were getting 6,000. 38 of the first 40 people we recruited got started at 6,000 too. So when they got started at 6,000, we were like, here, take one of our kits, right? So we would just give them a 1,500 point set, say, when yours comes in, give it back to us because these are our family, our friends, So here it is. Secret number 5. Know the difference in pay. Okay. I'm not going to go through this in great detail. Just know this. This is a no-brainer. As a planner, manager, senior manager, team leader, you do 4,000 in personal customer volume. Scott, I usually wouldn't put planner up here because you can't do 4,000 and not get promoted on at least 1,000, but I'm not getting all technical. Just understand, at 10%, you'd make $400. As a manager, you'd get basically 10 plus you would get 20 plus the other 10 because that would put you over the retail threshold. That'd be 1,200. If you're a senior manager, it's 1,600. If you're a team leader, it's 2,000. Like, what are we doing? Let's go promote the products, right? This is why everybody's popping to the drop right now, okay? So let me give an example. Why you want to get everybody to make sure no matter what that they do what? Unlock the unilevel. Why? Let me show you. If you recruit 3 to get 3 to get 3, that would be what? 3, 9, 27, 81, 243, 7, 29, 1,029. Now, it'll never work like that. Why? Because some people will bring in 103. Some people will bring in 0. But I'm just showing you an example of what can happen. Now, if everybody was on 1,000 point, everybody was getting 1,000 point BP for the month, that would be what? 33,000 that you earned. That would be if everybody averaged 1,000 BP per planner, which is very doable. Now, if you got 5 planners, they did the duplication like that: 5, 25, 125, 625, 3125, right? What did I say? 3125, 6125, 15625. Wait a second. 3125, 15625. Correct? 3, 5, 25, 125, 6, 25, 3125. I think I don't know. Let me just do that real quick. I'm going to do it real quickly. I think it's 15625. Because the last one would be 78,125, right? So 3125 times 5 is what? Yeah, 15625. God, man. Who made that? Who made this PowerPoint? Oh, my bad, me. So it's 15625, right? Then the seventh level would be 78,125. So here's what I'm going to show you. If everybody got 1,000 in BP in this example, you'd be making 301,000. But that's off 6125, man. It's actually probably going to be another 200,000 because I think I did those numbers off the 6125. It's 3125, 15625. Bam! We're going to get paid more money. So look at that. Let's just go out and do it, okay? So here it is. When people get started with starter sets, right? On your every time people get started on your level, anybody get started, like, look at what happens. When somebody gets started with a 1,500 point set, guess what? On your level 1, you're making $58 on level 2, 34 on levels 3 through 6. Now somebody gets started with 3,000 and look at 6,000. Somebody gets started with 6,000 on your level 1. This is just off the 5%. You're making 210 on levels 1 and 2, 126, 126, 126, 126 on levels 3 through 4, or 3 through 6. If you're a senior manager, 3 through 4. This is tons of money, guys. Like, they're just throwing money at us. It's unbelievable. If you understand math, like I understand math, obviously you're like, well, you just made 6125. You don't understand math. I promise you I do, okay? That's why I picked it up when I saw it, okay? I just was typing. I probably made this PowerPoint late at night. Actually, I made it in the morning. So here's what I want to show you guys. You can make a lot of money, right? This is through the starter kits with the differential together, right? You know what I mean? You're looking at substantial money. Right? You get somebody as a team leader, you get somebody started with a 1,500 point set, you're making $406. As a senior manager, making $290. As a manager, making $174. As a planner, making $116. What are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, let's go. Let's rank advance. Would you rather make $116, $290, or $406? Let's get paid. I love the way this works, okay? This is on the 5% past your level 1. Anytime somebody gets started with a 300 point set, 1,000 point set, or 1,500 point set, right? This is this is as a senior manager, your 5% override. You're making $58 every time somebody gets a 1,500 point set, right? If you're if it's open line volume, like, no brainer. Team leader, I'm not even going to get into this. It's just ridiculous. We're talking about $290 every time somebody gets started with a 1,500 point set. Like, you want to make sure that everybody's getting started the right way. That's why they pay you so much. Somebody's like, why does the team leaders get paid so much? because it's their job to make sure their people are getting started right. You can't expect another planner to make sure another planner gets started correctly. That's like a baby watching a baby, right? You got a baby watching a baby? CPS is coming, dude. You got to be a grown-up watching a baby. That's how you get paid. Hello, team leaders. You guys are lucky. You're not team leader yet. Wrap it up. You guys know how the generation match bonus works? 40, 20, 10. So basically, you're going to get paid as a team leader and higher. You're going to get paid on different generations of leadership, and you're going to get a percentage of their matching bonus of their check. What check amounts do you get? Their unilevel, their differential, their leadership overrides, all that stuff. You're not going to get the pool bonus, right? The pool bonus is not on there, right? For directors and higher, that 1% bonus is not on there. Obviously, you don't match on a match. Like, that's obviously no brainer. But let me show you what happened, okay? There's still the comp plan, right? If you got 5 people started that are team leaders or higher that are averaging 10,000 in income and you're getting 40% match on that, that's $20,000 a month. Hello. That's where the money's at in our comp plan, by the way. Then you duplicate 5 more, do it again, right? That's what? If they're at 10,000 a month and you're 20%, you're making 50,000 just on generation 2 leaders. You duplicate it out, you got 125 at 10,000 a month. This is averaging. You're at 10%, that's 195,000 in total match bonus. So this is where the long-term play is at Riman. People are like, how do I get wealthier? How I got wealthy was I developed a lot of leaders. How'd I do that? Just believe in a lot of people and let the product be the superstar. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's just let the products win. You know what I mean? If you want to win, let the products be the star of the show. Okay, not you. So here's how it works. Your income's going to look like this, right? Your unilevel is going to consistently grow. Your team leader commissions are going to go like this, depending on if you're 10 wide, it's not going to ever dip down and just keep going up. Matching bonuses goes to the roof, okay? So let's talk about breaking down your goal. I'm going to wrap this thing up here real fast. Okay, cool. We're good. Here it is. Let me show you guys. It's called safety numbers and law of averages, okay? When do you do something often enough, a ratio will appear. Danny Bay talked to the team leaders about this today. It was so good. Know your ratios. Like, you got to know your ratios, okay? Work the numbers, right? Inch by inch, it's a cinch. Yard by yard is when it becomes hard, right? Numbers don't lie. You guys know that, right? Numbers tell the story. Always remember, make the box so big, so small that a story won't fit. When you're making your boxes of what you need to get done for the day or how much volume or whatever, you just look at numbers. You don't look at stories. Like, the numbers will tell you the story. I don't need to hear the story. I can figure out the story by looking at the numbers. Somebody's volume is going down. I already know what the problem is. If somebody's volume is not growing, what's the problem? They're not getting the product on enough people. No, Tim, you don't understand. It's because I had a customer. It's the company's fault. It's this person's fault. It's that person's fault. It's, oh my God, if it wasn't so hot, if it wasn't so rainy, if it wasn't so, God, if we had more, if we had a Democrat as a president, or if we had, and they'll just, people just, if we had this, if we had a Republican as a president, if we had this, people come up with crazy stuff, dude. It's like, no, bro, go to work, dude. Like, you got to put the product on more people. And you got to teach people to do what? Put the product on people. If your team is slowing down, it's because you slow down. If you speed up, your team will do what? It'll speed up because you're going to influence people. If you can't sell yourself on working hard, you're not going to be very effective at influencing others. If I can't influence myself to want to like fall in love with Sharon Riman every day, like absolute maniac, I sold myself on it. Like, I'm sold silly on it. Right? From 8 to faint, I want to be talking to people nonstop. I got another Zoom at 7 o'clock with the Jermaine got me connected with a buddy of ours. It's a mutual friend that has made millions a month in the industry. At 8 o'clock, got a call with some of the leaders in Philippines. It's like nonstop, dude. What are we waiting for? I'm so fired up about talking about Riman. I love it. So as a result, I can infect other people to do it. But if you're not doing it, you understand? People that don't do it try to teach it, but they're not effective at teaching it. People that do it, they don't need to teach it. They just do it, and they show people what they're doing. Like, you understand? Like, leading by example. So all you got to do is make the box so small. And if you see somebody's not doing a lot of volume, you know why. Because they're not doing a lot of pop-ups. And they're not doing a lot of pop-ups. Why? Right? You know what I mean? It's like, they don't want to go help people look better. Like, what are you doing? Stop being stingy with your products. We got to go share this stuff with the world. What are we waiting for? Right? And the 5 P's, proper planning prevents poor productivity. You know what I mean? I call it the 5 P's. I've heard of the 6 P's too. They use another P word before poor. which is the PISS word. That's dirty language. I don't use that. Okay. So here's what I'm talking about. Activity drives what? Productivity. You can't control what somebody says, but you can influence what they say, but you can't control what people say. You can influence people. You can't control people. So if I can't make somebody do something, all I can do is do it and have a lot of fun doing it and influence them to do it. It's like if you want to jump, if you want everybody to go jump in the pool, what do? Don't yell at everybody to go jump in the pool. Just go jump in the pool and start having too much fun. And then you start having so much fun, everybody's like, I got to get in there too. You see what I mean? Like that's how we get rich in this business. Activity, well, if you focus on the activity, the productivity will go through the roof. You can't put the cream on people and people not get jacked about it. You understand what I'm saying? Just find more skin. Like, oh my God, I'm going to double dip. I'm going to be so good looking. I'm telling you what, hope my wife give me a kiss tonight. Here we go. Look at this. Break down your goal. How do we become successful? Volume goal. Let's say that your volume goal is 6,000. You want to be a senior manager. How much BP do you average per pop-up? I don't know. You tell me. Everybody's numbers are going to be different. Somebody goes, I don't know. I just do them. Okay. Well, if you tracked it, it would be a little bit better because you would have a strategic plan. But if you do 6,000 divided by the average BP per pop-up, which for me has always been over 1,000, right? Equals the number of pop-ups required would be 6. So how fast can I do 6 pop-ups between me and anybody I personally recruit? Now, if your numbers are 500 per pop-up, then guess what you would need to do? 12. If your numbers are 2,000, like Leah Lavoie's is probably like 2,000 or 3,000, 5,000. You understand? Then you have to do, just to hit a goal, you've got to know your numbers, right? So let me give you another example, okay? Let's say your volume goes 100,000 BP because you want to do what? You want to be on track to hit director. Divide that by the average K pop-up. Say you're getting about 1,000. That means in a month, you need to have what? About 100 pop-ups. Now, realize that's not you. That's you and everybody on your team. So if you have 10 people doing 10 pop-ups, that's 100 pop-ups. That's why it's so important to duplicate pop-ups. People don't realize it. They're like, why is everybody doing so many pop-ups? Because that's how we make a lot of money. You understand? Like if you're not doing them, you're not going to be able to duplicate them. Like somebody right now on this call is like, I've been in for a month and haven't done a pop-up. It's like, what? What are you doing? Like, what are you keeping this? Were you stingy with your product? You just trying to keep it all for yourself? You trying to be the only good looking person in town? Like, hello? I don't want these ugly neighbors around me. You know what I mean? I don't want to have ugly neighbors. They always say, like, if your neighbor's house is not looking good, yours isn't looking good, right? So fix up your neighbor's house. Fix up their face. I want people to come by at least my block. I want everybody on my street to look good. You guys see what I'm saying? Everybody's outside. Their skin is bling bling. Like I like that bling bling skin. You know what I mean? Like what are we doing? We got to pop till we drop. You know what I mean? And once you pop, you can't stop. I'm getting fired up. Okay. So let's talk about the last thing is persistence. I love talking about persistence, right? Because that's the magic to this business. Okay. I'm not going to talk too much about Think and Grow Rich. Read the book, right? But a definite purpose backed by burning desire for fulfillment, a definite plan expressed through continuous motion. Encourage and discourage and a mind closed tightly against negative people and a friendly alliance with people that are going in the right direction. That's basically what he's saying. Purpose. Like, what are you doing? My purpose? We're doing what? 5 billion a year in sales. That's my purpose. That's what I'm doing here. So you have a purpose, right? And then I have a plan and I take continuous action and I don't listen to negative people, right? Trust me, I got them. I don't listen to them. They'll always be there. And I have an alliance with people that are doing what? Making it happen, right? So let's go. Let's do it. Napoleon Hill, let's go. The fortune is in the follow-up, right? Who do we follow up with? Prospects that haven't seen Riman yet. Make a list of people. Anybody that hasn't seen Riman yet, we got to go show it to them. Customers that have received their products, got to follow up with them. Why? Make sure they're doing before and afters. Make sure they know how to love the products or use the products so they can love the products. Prospects that have been exposed that haven't pulled the trigger yet. We got to follow up with them and get them in. New planners that are just getting started, right? We got to follow up with them. Existing planners and leaders. The fortune is in the follow-up. Write this down. F-U. F-U. Follow up. Okay? Got to follow up. Just in case you haven't convinced yourself the fact yet, let me allow to share with you some statistics that could scare the living daylights out of us. 48% of network marketing distributors never follow up with a prospect. 48. 25% network marketers make a second contact then stop. 12% of network marketing distributors only make 3 contacts and stop. You guys see that? Zig Ziglar telling us this. It's a staggering discovery, but only 10% of network marketing distributors make more than 3 contacts. So what does that mean? 10% only. It's how you be elite. This is the numbers. 2% of planners get started and customers enroll on the first contact. 3% on the second, 5% on the third, 10% on the fourth, 80% on the 5th to 12th contact. If you want wealth, it'll happen on the 12th, right? You got to do 12 contacts, right? So if you're like almost half of network marketing distributors and make no more than 1 follow-up with your prospect, you're leaving 98% of your money on the table. Follow up. 98% of your money is not even, you're not even collecting it because you're not following up. Okay, follow-up tips. Be the best part of somebody's day. People got to love it when you call, right? They're like, because you're having good times, right? Connect and touch a heart before you ask for a hand, right? Care about people and let them know that. Remember, everybody's tuned into what? Their own radio station, WIIFM. What's in it for me? Focus on people's hot buttons, family, occupation, recreation, money. Find out what's important to them. Seek first to understand somebody, then to be understood. You understand that? You want to understand where they're coming from. Always use a cushion when you're overcoming objections. Watch the objection training on YouTube if you want to know more about that. Phil found, right? If you're not good at getting pen to paper and getting people and put it into the system and receiving payment and overcoming objections, go watch that training, right? A lot of people, right, felt the same way that you did until they found out this information, right? Care more about the person than the transaction, okay? This is no-brainer stuff, okay? Here's the deal. Look at this thing right here. This was shown to me on my first Saturday training I ever went to in network marketing history back February 17th, 1996. Effort, they drew it on a whiteboard. Effort, results. Results is on the bottom in yellow. Effort is in the white, right? On this thing. And then you have a dotted line 30 days, dotted line 60 days, and then obviously you have 90 days. If you see the effort is decreasing and the results are increasing, now the effort doesn't have to decrease. You understand that? But it's about explaining that your results will compound like a penny that doubles every day for 30 days. So basically, as you at the end, you're putting in this much effort, but getting such a multiple reward. You understand? Now, if you're putting in that effort, it's all about persistence, day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out. Keep on keeping on, right? Now, what happens is if you want to be wealthy and then you stay on track, bam, guess what? You're going to become wealthy, right? If you stay consistent for a 90-day run, right? We've got about 4 or 5 months before convention. It's time to run, baby, run. Now, if you get nudged off course a little bit, bam, you get a little elbow in your back, you're going to end up down there with a black eye. You've got to stay the course, right? So here's the things that I want to share with you about. All the pop-ups we've been doing all week long, we got to get them onto the overview. Tomorrow's overview is going to be perfect, okay? What's great about this one is these people have never done this profession before. We got to decide right now that this is my chance, that I'm going to make it happen, right? That I'm going all out. Why? Because if not this, then what? What else are you going to do? When are you going to find a Riman? Let me ask you a question. When are you going to find a volcano with water in it? When are you going to do that? When are you going to find a 10 times bigger plant? Who's creating plants these days? You got to go create a plant. What? We got to go create a plant, find water in a volcano? We can't do that. Maybe you can. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to take what they got over here and I'm going to go get it on the world. I'm knocking wrinkles off people's face at a rapid rate. Like, this is it. Think about what I'm telling you. There'll never be one of these again. And we can't just be in the right place, the right time, with the right people and the right products. What do we got to do? We got to go find some skin. We got to do it. So what? Let me ask you a question. If not this, then what? If not you, then who? I guarantee you that's going to happen. Guarantee it's going to happen. We're doing $5 billion a year in sales. Watch. We already know that. So if not this, then what? If not you, then who? And if not now, then what? When? When is the best time to change your life? When is the best time to just set forth the emotional momentum right now that's going to change your family tree forever? What would happen if everything worked out for you? What would happen if you just decided and just went after it and didn't second guess and wasn't a start stopper? You just kept on keeping on. What happens? What happens if you give it everything that you got? Let's go all out, massive action, make it happen, you guys. God bless you guys. Let's see you guys at the top. Friday's going to be amazing. I love you guys. Thanks for joining us. Let's make